Writing this book was both a tremendous challenge and also a pleasure and quite a bit of fun. I'm an ethnographer, which means that I would prefer, given all options, to base my research on face-to-face observations and conversations that I have with the people that I study. And what that meant in my case was that I needed to do everything that I could to be on site, to interview face-to-face, to observe what these people were doing, to attend their dinners and their various functions. And that, of course, meant an unbelievable travel schedule from 2018 into 2019, and one that I had to negotiate around my own teaching and also, of course, my family schedule and my wife and my two daughters and the time that I needed to spend with them. But I spent quite a bit of time in airports, waiting for phone calls, buying last-minute one-way tickets, not knowing where I was going to spend the night, not knowing which coast I was going to be on, not knowing in some cases whether or not I would cross the Atlantic or not. So those were some of the logistical challenges of writing this book, but there were a number of challenges in terms of content as well. An ethnographer always faces the challenge of having to be fair to and maintain a working relationship with the people who you are studying while also not being an uncritical vessel for their ideas. That was true in this case, and it was true in every other piece of research that I've done as an ethnographer. But it was also difficult to try to put this particular book out into a world that is so politically mobilized at the moment, that appreciates books that affirm pre-existing beliefs, that give simple answers to complicated questions. And what I had in this particular case study was an exceptionally complicated question, an exceptionally complicated account of a number of individuals who believed in some ways similar to one another, in some ways different from one another. Individuals whose relationship to power was never straightforward and could not be dismissed, but could easily also be overblown. Trying to strike that balance of adding shape and interpretation to the story, but not adding too much shape and too much interpretation. Trying to find a direction to what I was seeing, but also not to write the end of a story that had not ended, that was playing out in real time. All of those are profoundly challenging tasks for a writer. The goal that I had, and which I hope my book still adheres to, is that I didn't do too much to prevent other interpretations from finding themselves in my texts. That I allowed room for the informed and engaged reader to arrive at a number of conclusions based on what they were seeing. If I did that, then I think I certainly succeeded with this text.